Welcome, GRD 132, Typography 1, to probably our last exercise of the semester. This is Spring 23, and I'm recording this new because I had an older video of this one, and you can use baseball or anything else as your example, but we're going to do some photo text where you basically fill a selection with an image, and we have a background image. So here's my example right now. This is a PSD file, and I'm working in Photo P, so you don't have to work in Photoshop, but in Photopea, PSD file means it has layers. So we have a background layer, grass layer, there's the grass layer, baseball layer, which is actually the text, which I probably don't even need anymore. If I turn it off, you don't even see it. So I don't even need the baseball text, but that's how I originally created this whole element that's here. And then I have an image that has baseballs inside, and then it has outlines. It has a yellow glow, it has a black stroke, and it has a white inner stroke, and those are these layer styles, or effects as they're called. So they show up over here as effects. So I could turn off the inner white stroke, I could turn off the black stroke, and you could do multiple strokes. I know in the past you couldn't do multiple strokes, but now you can, and you could always do multiple styles. So here's an outer glow, you could do a drop shadow, you can do other things. So you could change all the colors and the thickness and make them go inside and outside, and you can even turn off the background and save this as a PNG file. If you didn't have a background, it was transparent. If you save this as a PNG file, PNG, this would be transparent. You could put it on top of anything. Even with a soft kind of glow like that, that would show up correctly. So that's what we're going to do, and this is working on a PSD file. Now again, when we're done, we'll make a JPEG if we have a background, or if you didn't have a background, if you wanted it transparent, you can make a PNG file. So right now we're going to have a PSD file, and you should be able to save that to your computer. If not, just keep working on it and download it. If you're on something like a Chromebook or something, you could just download it and then open it up and work on it again if you need it to. But this is what we're going to do. So let's get started. We'll just start from scratch. So I'll close this up right now. And what we'll do is we'll make a new project. So I'm going to go to Photo P. So go to photop.com, make a new project, and choose the Facebook cover. Down here, there's a Facebook cover. Now, it's a little big, so we're just going to put it in half. Now, you might say, well, I have to do math. You could do math. You could do 820. You could just go up here and make this 820. That's probably the easiest thing to do, 820. And then 664 in half would be 332. You could do that. And that would be 820 by 332 pixels. Keep it at 72 pixels per inch. Keep a white background, and then hit create. And there's our image. Now, you can save this to your computer, or you can also download it. But right now, if you double click on this, you could give it a name, and I'll just call it 18 photo text. You could call it baseball, and I'll put BB, and then I'll put Homa R. And that'll be a PSD file. Now, you won't see all that in the tab, but if you save it, now I didn't save it yet, so let's save it. Let's go File, Save as PSD. This saves it to your computer. That didn't save it. That just named it. So go Save PSD. I'll just do it to my downloads for now. Keep it in my downloads. There it is. PSD file. And then if I could close it and open it up again, and it's in my downloads. You could save it somewhere else too. All right, so we don't have anything here right now. We're going to put some grass here. So I'll just go to Google and I'll search grass. I'll find a grass image. And I used this one last time. This isn't a bad image. Here, I'll use this. Now, I'm going to go here and just right-click and copy image. Now, if you have any problem doing that on a Chromebook, you can download it, and I'll show you what to do if you do download it. Now, I'm going to copy image. So I'll copy image. There's other ones I could use here, but I'll copy image. And then I'll go back to Photopea, and I'm just going to paste. Now, you could do edit, paste, or you could do Command V if you're on a Mac, or Control V if you're on Windows. Let me just paste it. Now, it's really big right now. And in the newer version of Photo P, you don't hold shift, you just scale it like this. And if you don't see this over here, you should see this, but if you don't, I'll show you where to turn that off and on. And I'll move this up a little bit. So it's kind of all grass. So it's fitting all grass. So you could scale that. That's layer 1. And it is a little blurry up there, but that's okay. I'll take that kind of shadow part out. And then when you're done, hit enter. Okay. Now, if you don't see these controls, you could turn them off and on. Those are the transform controls. Auto select should be turned on too. That lets you click on things as you see them. So keep auto select on, keep transform controls on, or you could turn them off if they're annoying you right now. But you'd want to turn them on again. So we have grass there. You can even double click on this layer, call it grass. There we have grass. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the word baseball. Now you could do something else. You could type grass. You could type anything soccer, anything else if you're not into baseball. I'm just doing this because it's spring. So I'm going to go to my text tool down here, and I'm just going to click, and sometimes it takes a little time. Now I have it big right now because I already did it because I practiced it first. You may have it real small, so I'm going to just type baseball. You could do it in all caps. Just hold shift. I think you can put it in caps afterwards in your text thing, right? That's right here. But I'll just type baseball, and I think that's okay. I'll go back to after you type it with your cursor, go back to your move tool, then you can move it around. Now mine, of course, looks perfect right now because I resized it, but if not, you could just click on it. Now I'm not seeing my transform control, so I'm going to put them back on so I see this, so I know it's selected. And then you could go to your T tool over here, and you could pick a font. Now I just went through and I picked Erica 1 because it's nice and thick. And are there other thick fonts? I'm sure there are. Just look for something really thick. Don't look for anything that has fine lines in it or has any decoration in it. Just something, very big and bold. And there's tons of fonts that we see in here. I don't want anything too decorative. Maybe something athletic. What is this? Great Lakes. That's a little too fancy. So I'll just keep looking here. Maybe I'll find something that's kind of neat. Maybe it looks like wood, like baseball. It's not very thick though, but I'll try that for now. But I would recommend using something thicker if you can. I don't know if you can make it fake bold here. They have like a fake bold. I'll do that for now, whatever that is. And to make it bigger, you can scale it, or you can use this thing too. Now this is at its largest size, so I'll hit my text tool here and make it go away. Then you could just grab here, and I'll just make it kind of fill up this area. And there it is, baseball. It's kind of a weird looking baseball thing, but that's it. Like I said, use something really thick. It would probably be better. But anyway, now I'm not going to actually use the text. What I'm going to do is make a selection and then kind of bring something in. So what I'm going to do first, you could do this first or after, but I'm going to go find some baseballs. And I'm just searching baseball. And you could have a guy playing baseball, any kind of stuff like that. But since it's very thin, I'll just use my baseball thing again. Here's my baseball image. There's a bat and ball. You could put that in there. It doesn't matter. Here, I'll try bat and ball. Now, what I'm going to do is copy this, copy image. And again, if you have any issues, you can download it and then open place image. I'll show you what to do. So let's say you did have a problem. You can't copy this. You can do save link as, which would download it. And actually, not save link, I'm sorry. Save image as. You want to see, what is that, WebP? That's a new format. Don't use that. I don't want that. Let's see what this is. Save image as JPEG. We want a JPEG. And I'll just save that to my downloads for now. This is only if you can't copy it. So ignore this. If you can copy it, just copy it. But if you couldn't do that, I would just copy it. If I could normally copy it, I would just say copy image, and I'd go here, and I would just do edit paste or command V or control V. And I'll scale it down a little bit, make sure it's wide enough to go in there. Now that's going to be inside the text. Now right now, it's not inside the text. Now, if you had a problem doing this, I'll hit enter when I'm done scaling it. Whenever you're scaling it, hit enter when you're done. Now, if you had a problem doing this, I'll just turn this off. You had a problem doing that, you could go to File, Open in Place, and then find that baseball thing you just downloaded. Like if you're on a Chromebook and you couldn't copy it, you could do that. And now there it is. And when you see it in there, what you want to do is you want to rasterize it. So I just right click and rasterize it and get rid of that little icon that's in there. Now I'll move it up. I'll put it above there. And there it is, and now I'll scale it up. Now when you open a place, it fits in the window, so you can still make it larger. So that's just another way if you have any problem copying an image. So I'll use that one, and it's called baseball, and I'll get rid of this layer 1. This is the first one. If you need to get rid of a layer, just drag it on the trash can or click the trash can when you're on it. So this is the one I opened and placed. So that's only if you're on a Chromebook and you have an issue with it. So I'll just stick that in there right now. So this is called baseball. I'll call it image, just so I know it's different than the baseball text. And then I'm going to go to my text right here, and I'm going to right click on it. Right click right on the icon, not on the word. Well, actually, you could click on the word. Looks like you could click on the word, but you might want to click right on the icon. You can also do a command click or control click right on this thing. If I command click, it does a selection around the text, and that's actually what I want. If you don't have that option, you don't see it, you can right click on it and do select pixels. We'll do the same thing. we'll make a pixel selection. Now that's just a selection like you could do with a magic wand or draw a marquee, anything like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in the baseball image, and we're going to go down here to this like Chinese flag or whatever, and that actually makes a raster mask. And basically what that will do is it'll only let the image show up through those pixels. So again, just to review what I did there is I'll do Command D, select, deselect, Command D or Control D. I went on here, right click, select pixels. I have that selection of the text. And then I'm going to go on, make sure you go on this layer, not on the baseball text layer, go on the image layer, and then make it a raster mask by clicking on this thing. There, look at that. Wasn't that hard? And notice these things are linked together. You can move them separately. So if you unlink them, you can go on the image and make the image bigger or smaller. Now you want to keep it outside the lines, but if you wanted to like move it over and see more of the baseball or do anything like that, that's a little bit better. We could see a little more in there, and even maybe make it smaller on this side. Now that's if it's not linked. Now you could link it together, that means they'll move together. So I'll do that. So that's my baseball image. And what we'll do on this image, now you could be on this side of it, which is the mask, or this side, which is the image. It doesn't matter. I'm going to stay on the left side, and I'm just going to add some strokes to this. And to do that, I'll go to Layer, Layer Style, and I'll go to Stroke. And it put a white stroke on it by default. Maybe on yours it did a black one. I'm going to do white inside, actually just what it's doing. I'm going to do white on the inside. It's about 3 pixels. See, that's going inside the image just a little bit, just to give a little bit of an edge to it. Probably 3 is good. And it's white. If you need another color, just click on this thing down here, choose white, make sure you hit OK here, and that's good. And then what I'll do is I'll hit OK. Now I could have added another one right there, or you could just go in here again and go Layer, Layer Style, and now I'll go to Stroke again, and there's already a stroke there, and if you hit a plus sign, it'll add one above, or actually below. So I'll add a stroke below, and then I'll go on that one, and I'll change that to black, and I'll move this thing down to black. Go down here. Actually, does that move around? Yeah, I guess it moves around. Move that down to black, and I'll hit OK. And I'll make it on the outside. And I'll make it real thick. Not real thick, but just a little bit thicker. And if you don't want it black, you could go gray or something, make it a little lighter. That's fine. And hit OK. And then I did like a yellow glow on it. You could do a white glow, whatever. Then you could go down to outer glow. And outer glow is doing the one I did last time. It does screen. You can choose a color here. I'll just show you what to do here because you may not see it at first. You want to increase the spread and the size. The size is how much it blurs. The spread makes it a little sharper. So you have a sharper edge. You see when I increase the spread a lot, I'm seeing that edge there. So you can kind of use these together. You get a little more kind of substance to it when you use spread, and then size just kind of softens it. And if you want it just white, you could just do white and do something like that. You could put a drop shadow on it if you wanted a drop shadow, although sometimes a drop shadow over dark, might not look as good. So I'll put that on for now, and I'll increase the size just a little bit. And if I wanted another stroke, I could add one more stroke. Go here, make sure you click on it, and I'll make this stroke yellow. And I'll just make it a little thicker. If I can see, close the window first. Make it a little thicker. There it is. It's kind of in between there. I could zoom in a little bit. Do a little bit of a stroke there. Make it a little darker maybe. And zoom out again. I don't know how great that looks, but you could use a red color or something like that if you like the Phillies or Mets or any color you want. I did yellow and black because I was a Pirate fan when I was a kid. And I'll hit OK. So now I have 3 strokes. I have a white inner one, a black one, a yellow, and I have a outer glow on it. And that's about all I need on there right now. Now again, I could turn off the grass and turn off the background, and I can export this as a ping. Or I could just leave it the way it is, and I could save it as a JPEG. Now, one thing you want to do, you want to save this. So make sure you go here and do Save. And then if you want to actually export a version to upload, what you could do is you could do a JPEG just as it is. If you have the grass background, just go to File and go to Export As and choose JPEG. It's 820 right now. You could maybe make that a little bit smaller, but you could probably put it like 600 or something when you upload it to my Warren. And I'll leave it like that right now. So I'm exporting a JPEG. I have my Photoshop file, but I'm saving for web and I'm saving a JPEG, and I'll hit save. And it downloaded to my downloads. Now I'm going to go back to my Warren, and I'm going to go to coursework, and I'm going to go down to unit 15, and there it is. Now I'm not giving you any link or anything, but just click on it. And if you want to turn in your assignment, just go to Add Comment, Insert Image using this button, and go find it. I'll go to Upload, and I'll go to Downloads because that's where it got saved. And not the PSD. Do not upload your PSD, it won't even let you. But make sure it's the JPEG, and there it is. I'll hit Open, and then I'll hit Insert. Now it's saying 820. Try it a little bit smaller to start. Try it like 600. You could resize it here. And that's still a little big, maybe 500. And I think if you grab here, you could even see something like 500. 500 is probably good. Somewhere around 500 is probably good. Even 500 or a little bit less. 496, that's good. And that's all you have to do. Just hit save. And let's see what that looks like. That's not too bad. You don't want it really gigantic. 820 would probably be out to here. So, you know, just putting it at like 500 or a little less is probably good. And that's all you have to do. Now, again, if you wanted to do it transparent, you would just do that by turning that off, turning off background, and exporting it as a PNG. But remember, that's the export format. This is your PSD format. So if you ever need to go back to this, and I'll save it, there was an asterisk there, so I'll save it. This will be saved on your computer if you can. If you can, I had it saved in my downloads right now. So this is my PSD file with all the layers. I could always go back and change this or whatever, and that's about it. And if you need me to look at this or run into any problems doing this, they do have an option in Photopea, which is pretty cool. You can actually go to Share and go to psdphotopea.com, and what it actually does is it makes a URL. Now, you can't go and organize things in here and do all kinds of, you know, neat stuff. It just makes a kind of random URL, but you can export a URL, and I can actually see your PSD file. So you can go here to Share PSD and hit OK, and then it'll publish. It used to just open it in a new tab, but it'll publish a URL, and you can actually copy that URL and go back here. I'll just hit Edit, and I'll go inside here. I'll hit Return, and I'll insert a link. I'll paste the URL. I'll make it open it in a new window, and there it is. Seems to be an external link. Do you want to add the, yeah, okay, whatever. So there it is. So then I can actually look at your PSD file. This is the exported JPEG file. This is the PSD file. You don't have to do this, but if you do have a problem, email me this. You know, do that thing. Do share as psdphotopea.com, just like I did, and then send me this link, copy it, send it to me, and I'll look at your file and see if you have any problems or anything I can help you with. But that's about it. So that shouldn't be too hard. It should be fun. You don't have to do baseball. You could do something else if you want. But again, it's just kind of using, we're just kind of making a mask out of text. So we actually didn't end up using our baseball text at all. So that's kind of hidden under our image. So that's our photo theme text. We did one time with Figma. This time we're doing it all in Photopea. You could do the same thing in Photoshop. So that's exercise 18. What you turn in should look something like that. So let me know if you have any problems with that. Hopefully you can have some fun with that.